so now we are doing the second packet, as you'll see. And as you probably recognize, these are all of your papers from the first home visit. So we have our verbal lead screening, our student health history form, our nutrition assessment, and that is it. So just the 3 events that you will be doing at first home visit. So let's go back to Child Plus and make sure you are on training mode. You see the banner across the top, correct? Yes. Okay, so we're not messing anything up. Let's just pick another kid in your class that you would have done a home visit with. And again, this is one that you could do each event individually, or you could do it by multiple events. Any specific way you guys would rather see it done?
I like the multiple events.
Okay, I agree. For my processing, I like the multiple events, but I know some people like doing it individually. Okay, so what we're going to do here is do our verbal lead. And remember, this is the verbal lead. It's not the actual lead drill. So we need to go down to the bottom to the verbal lead. This is to make sure that this one does not count for any of our requirements, because it's just a lead screening. The lead draw is the one that's actually counted for our requirements. Then we have our health history form. And we have our nutrition assessment. It just says nutrition. So the event date would be the date that you were actually on your home visit and have had all of the paperwork signed. So let's say you guys just did a home visit last week. The status is we're just going to go ahead and do pass first screening for now. The agency worker is you again. And we don't have our provider in this because it's all done with you guys in the family. So there's not a medical or dental provider here. So we'll go to next. And at the top, we have our verbal lead. So if you look at your verbal lead, as you know, because you guys are the ones asking your parents, any of these questions that are marked yes is a positive response. Positive meaning not good. Like they need to have the blood lead drawn. So then what you'll do is when you submit these to the health coordinator, she'll look at it and say, blood lead drawn within normal limits, needs blood lead drawn. And so that's how you know which status to put this in. So let's say this kiddo had 2 yeses. So we're going to put that he failed screening, needs referral, because he hasn't had his lead drawn either. So based on the positive responses and that he has not had that done yet, we're going to do failed screening, needs referral. And you can add in the notes that 2 positive responses, no blood lead drawn yet. And I sometimes will put family advocate, will work with family to get appointments. Does that make sense? So then you'll take that information back to them like, hey, we just have some concerns based on this screening. We really need to get that drawn to make sure that his blood lead levels are within normal limits. Okay? And so also by that, see up here under the needs section, we're going to put referral. Okay, we're going to put referral that he has been referred to a medical provider to have that done because there are just some concerns. Okay, health history. So this one is one that is very important that we have all of the documentation written so that we know before they come in if there's any special diets, if the nurse needs to contact them for any health concerns, follow up, if there's going to be medication at school. So that's why it's really important that we have all of this filled out in detail. And so when you're entering this event, you're going to go through and just make sure that everything's marked appropriately. Do we need any further information from the family advocate or the parents? And then you would put those notes down here under event notes. So let's say, we're going to say So on this one, we're going to put completed because it was done. But we're going to say he has a special diet. He's allergic to peanuts. So we're going to put C notes, allergy. And so here what you'll do is you'll do the timestamp again, and then you'll just enter any of the notes that was on here. So we're going to say allergic, I could spell, oh goodness, allergy to peanuts needs special diet in place. And that way, when we're going through, the health coordinator's going through it and sees this, when they run the report for this, we know automatically that, hey, we need to get on this to get the special diet in place for this kiddo. Okay, but because it came from the parents and not a medical provider or any other kind of concerns, there would not be any other kind of needs here. We had notified the parents because they're the one that gave us the information, and nothing over there would be marked. Okay, so then we're going to scroll down to nutrition. And this is another one that can take a while because there's a lot of information on here. As you can see up top, we have the diet history. So that's also where there might be an alert to maybe a parent forgot to tell you there's an allergy or they're lactose intolerant. So that would be up there as you're going through marking yes, no, any other concerns. Sometimes if we find out that a child is still on a bottle, that might be good information that the teachers know, just so they're aware of when that kiddo comes in. Then this part on part 2, food frequency, that is what the new dietitian is going to do and complete on her side of it. On the other side is where you're going to be asking the parent how frequently they get those food in those food groups. So then when we come through, now remember, you'll submit this, it goes to the dietitian, and then it's entered once we have all of the results. Because that's how we give the dietitian, the nutrition information to parents. And so, let's say on this one, we've completed it. And notice here too, on this one, parents can refuse not to do these two. So if you went to a home visit and they're like, we're not doing any of that, we don't want to do it, you would just put parent refuse. That way we have the documentation that they don't want to do it. So we're going to do completed because it was complete. And we're going to say this one has, what's one that we could see? Let's say underweight, because sometimes that is what the dietitian will say. So we're going to say concerns. Let's say dietary concerns. See notes. So then we're going to come down here and we're going to put in our event notes what the dietitian said. Because also when these are submitted to the dietitian, their growth assessments are submitted with this and their hemoglobin and lead results. And so she takes that information and compares it with the other results, and that's how she gets her information of maybe some of the needs that the kid may or may not have based on all that information. And so we're going to say he's underweight. Refer to dietitian. So then up here, what we're going to do is we're going to hit referral. He needs referral because he was underweight based on some of the food intake he has on here, maybe even his hemoglobin, maybe he's a little anemic. He's going to be referred to the dietitian, and we'll give that information to the parents to work with the dietitian to help if they're not currently being seen by someone else. This is also where you can put who was notified. So you could say you called mom, and then you could put family advocate and the date. That was from May 7th. Well, let's do May 23rd because by the time you sent it to the dietitian and she sent it back. Okay? Any questions on the nutrition assessment? Sometimes these ones take a little bit longer just to read through and making sure we're not missing. Sometimes the dietitian will say high sugar intake. So you'll just put that note and then it'll be, that's how we know which information to give to parents. Any note, it's always just really good to see any kind of notes or extras on here that you put those in event notes. And if you don't want to put anything on the results other than C notes, you can do that too. Because you could also put the dietary concerns here, or just concerns. Take that out. C notes. And there you go, that way it's on there. Just not for everyone to read, but then once you open up the event, you can see. So then let's go back through and make sure we have all 3 events marked correctly. Okay, he was referred for verbal lead, he needs the lead redrawn, health history is completed, poor kid is allergic to peanuts, and then on nutrition, he's also underweight. Then we're gonna hit finish. And let's go ahead and refresh. And you'll see on here the growth, the health history, the new health history that we just entered. I'm sorry. The health history, the verbal lead, and as you can see when we've marked that, it's right here as underneath referral. So it's an easy glance to see too that, oh wait, that kid need, what are we missing here? What needs help there? Same with nutrition. We can also, if we go to reports, and you want to see how make sure you have all your paperwork in from the first home visit. If we go to health, and if we do latest occurrence, 30-35 of health events, on your kiddos, we're going to just do, let's do nutrition. We're going to do all sites, all classrooms. Oh, whoops. Oh, yes. Completed. So there you go. So see, you can see where now in the results where we've put that when you open up your report. So then you know, oh, this one I need to go back into Callie's event and see specifically what was said. So it's all completed, but then the results are the ones that give you the notes. So there you see, here's our one, see notes. So there's additional concerns there for that nutrition. Okay. Any questions on those paperwork from the first home visit? The biggest one is just making sure you're writing any of the notes that is on there. Did you have a question, Jane? Or go ahead.
When you, okay, so, I mean, I feel like verbal is kind of a hard one. Let's say we get the follow-up.
For the lead?
Yeah, like when they have, for anything, like when it has the check mark for needs referral.
Yes.
So like, what would be the next step if we get the follow-up?
Okay, good question. So, I'm trying to think of one we just did for vision.
Mine?
Polly, yes, let's look at Polly.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so, yeah, I do have her, that's why.
Yeah.
Was it Chevelle?
I think so.
No.
Or was it brother?
It's Dayton. Oh, I think it's going back. So, okay, that's not one, I'm sorry guys. I'm trying to think of another one.
We have Kyson.
Yes, Hanson.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I think we ended up getting his back.
Right.
It must not be updated. Okay. So if they, let's say like a vision, they failed vision. Sorry, I went too fast there, guys.
Oh, no, fine.
It shows on his vision he has a referral. Okay. So when we go in here, he failed spot. He was referred to the eye doctor. We went and had an eye exam. What we're gonna do is go down here to the actions,
Okay.
and we're gonna add an action. And we're gonna say he had, this was referral. No, I'm gonna take that back.
Isn't that a follow-up?
Treatment
I'm treating.
is what it is, sorry. Referral is moving forward on the education side. The action date, we're gonna say he went last week. We're gonna put eye exam for a description.